Hello everyone, I am Mohini Mehrotra and I am currently pursuing M.tech ID from IIPS DAVV. This is a video assignment explaining the solutions of the external tests under the guidance of Dr. Shalikram Prajapati sir. Question number A is create a visual representation of the differences between the internet and the web. To create a visual representation of the differences between the internet and the web, we can use the following diagram. In the internet, we have ICMP, FTP, DNS, Skype, BGP, SSH, and IRC. And in web, we have employees intranet, saved web pages, stuff already in our browser, cache, and the common that is same to us. And we have some common things that are online websites, that is google.com, pictures of other cats, and Facebook pictures, etc. Now, the internet is a global network of interconnected computers and devices that communicate with each other through the standard protocols such as TCP/IP. It includes various types of networks such as LAN, WAN, and the World Wide Web. The web is a collection of interconnected documents and the resources which are accessed using the HTTP protocol over the internet. It includes various types of content such as texts, images, videos, and audio files. The question number first B. What ethical concerns are associated using the invisible web for data mining surveillance process? The invisible web refers to a vast amount of content or internet that cannot be accessed through the standard search engine. This includes the content that is not indexed or publicly available, such as password protected websites, private social media profiles, or unlisted directories. The use of invisible web for data mining and surveillance purposes raises the several ethical concerns, including invasion of privacy, that is, individuals may not be aware that their privacy information is being accessed and collected, leading to a violation of their privacy rights. Unethical data collection, that is, data mining techniques may be used to collect the analyze the data without the consent of individual or organization, leading to unethical data collection practices. Misuse of data. Collected data may be misused for the purposes other than those for which it was intended, such as targeted advertising or surveillance. Bias and discrimination. The use of data mining and surveillance technique may result in bias and discrimination against the certain individual or groups based on the factors such as race, gender, or religion. Now, question number first C, that is, how can individual and organization use two-factor authentication and strong password to enhance the security of their email accounts? To enhance the security of email accounts, the individual organization can use two-factor authentication and strong password. The two-factor authentication requires users to provide the two forms of identification, such as password verification sent to their mobile devices or email addresses. This adds an extra layer of security and makes it harder for the hackers to access the account. Now, strong passwords should be complex and include a combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. Passwords should also be changed regularly, and the individual should avoid using the same passwords for multiple accounts. Now, second question, with what are the different types of malware and their impact on computer systems, and what are the measures can be taken to prevent the malware infection, such as using the antivirus software and regularly updating software. Malware is a malicious software designed to damage or disrupt the computer system. Common types of malware including virus, worms, Trojan horses, and ransomware. Malware infections can have a severe consequences such as data loss, identity theft, and financial loss. To prevent the malware infection, individuals and the organizations should use antivirus software and keep the software and operating system up to date with security patches and avoiding downloading or opening suspicious attachments or links. Now, question number B is, how can individuals and organizations train employed to recognize and avoid social engineering techniques such as phishing, pretexting, baiting, and implementing policies and procedures to reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information? Social engineering techniques such as phishing, pretexting, and baiting are designed to trick the individuals into divulging the sensitive information or performing unauthorized actions. To reduce the risk of unauthorized access to sensitive information, the individuals can train the employee to recognize the social engineering techniques and implement the policies and procedures to prevent them. This may include providing the trainings on how to identify phishing emails, avoid sharing sensitive data information online, verifying the request for sensitive information before providing it. Now, question number second C is what are the different types of methods for securing the data such as encryption, tokenization, and access control, and and how can organization evaluate the different approach which best suits for their specific needs? Different kind of methods for securing the data such as encryption, tokenization, and access control can be used to protect the sensitive information. Organizations should evaluate their specific needs to determine which approach best suits their requirements. Encryption is a common method of securing the data and involves the converting plain text into ciphertext using an encryption algorithm and secret key. Tokenization involves replacing the sensitive data with a token that has no meaning or value, while the access control involves the limited access to sensitive information based on the user's permission. Now, question number third A. How can individuals and organizations use email filters, web filters, and firewall to identify and block the phishing and phishing scams? And what are some of the best practices for responding to suspected attacks, such as reporting the incident or security teams? Email filter, web filter, firewalls can use to identify and block phishing and phishing scams. Email filters can be set up to block suspicious email or to send them to a spam folder. Web while web filters can prevent users from accessing the malicious website, the firewalls can block the unauthorized access to a computer system and networks. Best practices for responding to suspected attacks include the reporting incidents to security teams, reviewing access logs, and implementing incident response plans. Now, question number third. What are some most significant milestones in the history of cryptography, such as development of Caesar cipher, Enigma machine, and how to they advance in the technology and computing impact on the evolution of cryptographic systems over time? Significant milestones of history cryptography include the development of Caesar cipher, Enigma machine, or RSA algorithm. Advances in technology and computing have impacted the evolution of cryptographic system over time, with the modern cryptographic system using complex mathematical algorithms and storage the key exchange protocols to ensure the secure communication and data storage. Now, question number third is what are the different key features and limitations of popular cryptographic algorithms such as DES, 3DS, RC4, 2FISH, AES, and how can the organization select the appropriate algorithm for specific use cases? Popular cryptographic algorithms such as DES, 3DS, RC4, 2FISH, and AES have different key sizes, block sizes, and encryption mode, which impact their security and performance. Organization should select the appropriate algorithm for specific use cases based on the sensitivity of data being protected. Factors to consider include the strength of the encryption, that the ease of key management, and the potential attacks such as the brute force or side channel attacks. Now, question number four is how a public key and private key system work, and what are some practical applications for these system and real world scenarios, such as securing message and online transaction. Private and public key crypto system work by using a pair of keys, one of public and private key for encryption and decryption. In the system, public key can be freely distributed while the private key is kept secret. When someone wants to send a message to a receiver, they can use the receiver's public key to encrypt the message, which can be used by only to be decrypted using the receiver's private key. This ensures that only the intended receivers can read the message. Practical application of this system include the secure message, online transaction, and digital signatures. Now, what are some design principles such as principle of least privilege and dispense in that an organization should follow when developing a software or other systems, and how can these principles be effectively implemented using tools such as code analysis and penetration testing? The design principles such as the principle of least privilege and the defense in depth help in the organization to develop and secure the software and the system. The principle of least privilege states that each system component should only have the access to a resource it needs to function, while the defense in depth means using the multiple layers of security controls to protect the data against the attacker. This principle can be implemented using the tools such as code analysis, penetration testing. The code analysis can help to identify the vulnerabilities in code, while the penetration testing can simulate the attacks to find the weaknesses in the system. Now, fourth C question is, how can organization defend against the side channel attacks such as timing attacks and the power analysis attacks, and what are some standard methods for detecting and mitigating these type of threats, such as using masking techniques and the implementation of hardware level security measures. The side channel attacks are type of attacks that target weaknesses in a system's physical characteristics such as power consumption or time. The organization can defend against these attacks by using the masking techniques such as randomizing power consumption or adding noise to the data signal to make it harder for the attacker to extract the information. The hardware level security measures such as secure boot or firmware signing can also help to protect the data against side channel attacks. Standard methods for detecting and mitigating these types of threat include monitoring power consumption and performing regular security audits. Now, what are some key strategies for securing Windows system and implementing effective authentication models such as biometric and multi-factor authentication? Securing Windows system involves implementing the several measures such as following the installing regular security updates, configure a firewall using antivirus softwares, implementing access control using strong passwords, implementing the multi-factor authentication, and conducting regular security audits. Now, question number 5A is, what standard authentication model is used by the organization such as single sign-on, that is SSO, and the multi-factor authentication, that is MFA, and how can organization evaluate which approach best suits with their specific needs, and how can the organization consider with a, which approach is the best suited for the particular need use cases? The standard authentication models such as SSO and the multi-factor authentication, that is MFA, are used by the organization to enhance the security of their system and the data. The SSO allows the users to access multiple applications with a single set of credentials, while MFA requires users to provide additional forms of identification such as fingerprint or one-time password. Organization can evaluate which approach is best for their specific needs and by considering the factors such as level of security required by the number of users who will need to authenticate and the cost of complexity of implementation. They can also consider the different types of attacks such as phishing and credential stuffing and choose the authentication model that can mitigate these risks. Now, question number 50, what are trusted computings and how does it differ from the traditional security models, and how can the configuration leverage the trusted computing technologies such as hardware-based security models and remote attestation to enhance the security and integrity of the system and the data? Trusted computing is a security model that focuses on the integrity of the hardware and software components of a system. It differs from the traditional security models that rely on the software-based solutions such as firewall and antivirus software. Organization can leverage the trusted computing technologies such as hardware-based security models and remote attestation to enhance the security and integrity of the system and data. Hardware-based security data models provide the secure environment for sensitive data and operation, while the remote attestation allows the organization to verify the integrity of a system's hardware and software components before allowing access. Now, question number 50, explain how virus work and explain any 10 types of viruses. A computer virus is a type of malware that spreads by infecting executable files or documents. Once a virus infects a system, it can perform various malicious actions such as stealing personal data or damaging files. Here are the 10 examples of viruses. I love you, a virus that spreads via email in 2000, causing the damage to million computers. WannaCry, a ransomware virus that affects hundreds of thousands of computers in 2017. Malaysia, a virus that spread via email in 1999 and caused millions of dollars in damages. Coded, a worm that has infected servers running Microsoft IIS in 2001, causing widespread outages. MyDoom, a worm that spreads via email in 2004, creating a backdoor that allowed attackers to control the infected system. Zest, a Trojan that stole the banking credentials and other sensitive information from infected system. Configure a worm that exploited a vulnerability in Windows system and created a botnet with million infected computers. Stuxnet, a worm that targeted industrial control systems, causing a physical damage to centrifuges used in Iran's nuclear program. CryptoLocker, a ransomware virus that encrypted users' file and demanded payment in exchange of decryption key. Mirai, a botnet composed of infected Internet of Things devices that used the massive distribution denial of service that a DDoS attack in 2016. Thank you.